Tokyo. What do you think the chances are? And is it something? I mean, the way it is it something that's constantly on your mind? Is it a struggle to think about other things when that's,
Oh,
you're waiting
100%,
to hear?
like 100%. I mean, obviously for me, I think we spoke about this before, but like the dream has always been to go to Tokyo. And now that they've sort of cancelled the world qualifiers, you just kind of hoping that you get good news, that you've got good rankings within the continent or the world. And hopefully, you get that call and they say, you're going, and you're just like, well, hey. But yeah, it is definitely something that I've always wanted to do, and I do hope that I get there.
Because there must have been a moment when you heard the world was cancelled, the world qualifier was cancelled, that you thought, oh, that's it, that's the dream dead. And
Yeah.
to suddenly then actually read the small print and actually, they might be giving me a call.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was something you responded to one of my tweets actually that sort of gave me some hope, some wishful, like some hopeful thing. Like I was very hopeful after that. So thank you for that. But yeah, you just never know with these things. And yeah, I hope that I get the call, basically.
Is this? I mean, how many fights are you kind of hoping you'll get before that? Because I mean, it's obviously important. If that's your, if August is your current, July, August is your current target. You'd probably want a couple of fights, a couple of camps to get you in proper shape for that.
Oh, 100%. Obviously, it's so different. Pros and amateurs are so different. The round, like the minutes, the pace, everything. So, I want to get this fight on Saturday out the way, possibly do one more, and then go back to doing some amateur tournaments, try and get at least 2 tournaments under my belt before, I start for the Olympic prep. Try and go out to Tokyo a couple of weeks early and try and get some training out there with the national team, and hopefully everything falls into place.
Have you been able to do much training with all the COVID stuff going on? I presume you haven't managed to get overseas.
Oh, COVID training has been horrendous. Finding sparring partners has been awful. You get, so you put sparring in place, and then a day later, I'm sorry, I can't come, I've got COVID. And you're just like, damn, I was really relying on this sparring. But, there's like a couple of people that have never let me down. So if a sparring partner has cancelled on me last minute, I'll put in the call to this boy Jokey that I usually spar, and he just steps up last minute and he gives me the round. So I'm, forever grateful for that. And yeah, he's been the reason why I've been able to, practice in the ring, sparring, doing tech work and things like that. But yeah, it's been so hard training during COVID. A lot of the gyms are locked. Council has locked up a lot of the tracks that I use for, my conditioning work. A lot of gyms are closed because they don't want to pay business rates to just open up for one person. So it's about getting creative with your training and, finding different ways of doing strength and conditioning, and finding different ways of doing your running circuits around the track and things like that.
Lastly, it might sound a bit cliche, but we've seen over sort of the last year, sort of the progression of, women's boxing. Last November, an all-female card. Almost every Matchroom show has had at least one female fight, and this one has 2. Yeah. What other steps do you think need to be taken in sort of the coming years so we get that sort of level of equality?
I mean, it's great that, women's boxing has become so big in the past few years, but I still think there's like quite some way to go. I hope in the future that, these women that have put in so many years of hard work, they're given the ability to showcase their skills, and it just becomes more about women's boxing as opposed to sexualizing the sport. And I'd also like to see a pay equality as well. I mean, that might be some time, because, I tweeted about it quite a while ago about, the reason why women are not getting paid the same as men is because of the commercial demand for them. So I feel like if more women go out and support women, then there'll be a bigger demand for women. And I feel like because of that, women will be given the opportunity to get paid the same as men.
What sort of time frame do you see on that? Do you think that'll be perhaps in the next 2 years, 5 years?
I hope so. I don't know. Like, what do you think it will happen quite soon?
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, definitely.
I appreciate that, Ramla. Best of luck Saturday.
Cheers, Jonathan.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jonathan. If we go to Zayed Chaudhry from South London Press, please.
Hiya.
Hiya, how are you?
I'm okay. Yeah, so I actually write for the Bretton and Kilburn Times, and you're a Ladbroke Grove lass?
No, I'm not really a Ladbroke Grove lass, but obviously during COVID, all the gyms were closed, and a friend of mine who owns a gym in Ladbroke Grove kindly gave us the keys to his place. He said, look, no one's going to be in it. You guys can use it whenever you want. So we've sort of had to just stay at a mate's house close to the gym, and that's where we've been training. But I'm not from Ladbroke Grove, no, I'm east. I'm an east girl. Bethnal Green.
Okay, whereabouts in East London?
Bethnal Green. So yeah, I grew up a lot of my years in Bethnal Green.
Right. I want to ask you this actually, obviously the popularity of women's boxing and all that. If there's one current female boxer out there you look up to, who would it be?
I want to say Cecilia Braekhus. Obviously, she didn't win on Saturday, but I still think she's amazing. She's such an inspiration. She's done so much for women's boxing, and she's just an all-round nice person. She always tweets positive things to me, and she always says positive things. I mean, I've never met her, and she doesn't have to do it. I presume she's like quite a busy woman, but she always, takes the time out of her busy schedule and her busy daily schedule to just, uplift me when I feel down. So that's quite nice. And yeah, I've always looked up to her even before she did any of that. I just think what she's done for women's boxing is so huge, so amazing. Why wouldn't anyone look up to her?
Okay, if I talk about other sports, obviously you're a Somalian girl. We're talking about one Mo Farah as well, who's done a lot. It's like, do you also look up to guys like him as well for what he's actually achieved in his country?
100%. Like what he does as a sport is mad. I quite recently, his main photographer asked to photograph me during a training session, and he was telling me the kinds of sessions that Mo does, and it's like mind-blowing. You think, how does he possibly do that? He's like a genetic freak, and to do that day in, day out, live and breathe the sport, it's phenomenal. It's amazing. So you have to sort of look at those people like in awe and just think, wow, you are amazing. But yeah, definitely another person that I look up to. He's achieved so much, and he's obviously put like Somalia on the map. Something that I, wish to do, basically, to sort of show people that we're more than just war and famine and corruption and piracy and things like that. And he's done that, and I just hope to continue doing that. Basically,
I understand where you're coming from, sis. I seriously do. It must be frustrating that you're actually boxing second time at Wembley, just down the road without no crowd. It must be frustrating.
It's quite weird, but to be honest, I'm used to it. I was telling Jamie a while back from Matchroom that I've been to some horrible places in the world. I'm not going to name names just in case people watch and think, how dare you talk about my country like that? But some horrible, horrible places, and there's just no crowd. And I've done that for like I've done international boxing for like the past 4 years, and I'm used to no crowd. I'm used to sort of cheering for myself and, trying to uplift myself and just be positive with myself. So I'm used to no crowds, and it's not really anything new to me. I think what will be new to me is the day that it's a flip and the crowds are allowed to come back, and I'm just like, wow, what's going on here? But yeah, but for now, I'm just really used to no crowds.
Brilliant, Ramla. That's top stuff. Thank you so much. Good luck for Saturday.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ed. If you go to John Trethaway next, please.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, Ramla. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. So how did it feel knowing that your first pro fight was actually going to be on live TV on a massive show on Matchroom? The vote of confidence from Eddie and the team there must have been fantastic.
I mean, I pushed for it. I was like, Will, get me on this card, please. And he tried his very best to get me on the undercard. And I think more than anything, I just wanted to meet Usyk. I didn't like, I knew like getting on any undercard would have been amazing, would have been nice. But that getting on the Usyk Chisora undercard, was just amazing. I keep saying amazing, but it was amazing. And I really wanted to meet him, and I knew getting on the undercard, I'd be given the opportunity to meet him. So, you know, I ran to him and I was like, please, can I have a picture? And took a picture, and that's it. Life complete. What else can I say? So it was amazing. Yeah, it was great.
Excellent. Where do you find the time to fit everything in? Because I've read up lots of bits. I think you've got a book coming out. There's a film that's about to come out already, and you're still starting your career early in the boxing world. I think the producers won a BAFTA or something, as well as I think you were picked to go on the front cover of British Vogue by.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where you find the time.
I think for me, I'm not like, I don't go out that much. I'm quite boring. And my idea of going out is inviting friends round to eat and watch a movie. So I think I know what you mean. Like, people always say you're so busy. How do you find the time for this and how do you find the time for that? But what I say is if something is really important to you, you'll always find the time. And I really enjoy, you know, all the work that I do outside of boxing, all the charitable work, all the, you know, going abroad for UNICEF, going to refugee camps, doing Sisters Club, the modeling I really enjoy. So yeah, if it's like something that you love and if it's something that you enjoy, you'll always find a time for it. So I just find the time for it. You know, there's 24 hours in a day. I find that the extra 25th hour to pluck it out somewhere, and there you go.
It feels like you are progressing towards building this big public figure for like years to come, maybe after boxing. Is that something that's important to you as much as the boxing?
100%. Like, you know, there's so much I'd love to achieve in the ring. You know, I want to be a world champion. Actually, no, I know I'm going to be a world champion. But more than anything, I'd love to be remembered for in the ring, but more than that, I'd love to be remembered for what I did outside of the ring. Like, you know, if I had the opportunity to help and if I had the opportunity to give back, why not? Yeah.
Thanks, Ramla.
Okay, so we've just got time for one more question before Ramla goes. I know she's got a busy schedule. So, Ames, did you just want to end things for us, please, mate?
Yeah, sure. Nice to meet you, Ramla. How are you doing?
Very good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Given the current climate in terms of like women's issues, rights, how much of a positive role like can boxing play in terms of empowering women in places like the Middle East, Africa, Somalia?
I mean, I think it plays such a huge role. I mean, people always see boxing as a man's sport, and you know, seeing me, a Muslim girl, playing. My mum calls it playing. I don't understand why, but you know, competing in boxing is so huge because it shows that you can actually do it as well. Like there's this saying, I think I've seen it somewhere: you can't be what you can't see. And if you're paving the way, you're opening doors and creating opportunities for girls to, you know, show them that you can literally do whatever you want. Okay, you don't have to necessarily go into boxing, but you can be and you can achieve whatever you want to do. Like quite recently, I was sent a video of like 2 girls in Somalia taking up boxing because of me. And it's quite dangerous to do that in Somalia. You could have all these like, terrorist group that's just want to control the country. So for them to sort of record themselves and put it out there on the internet is so brave. And it's because I'm trying to do that for women, and they feel confident enough to, record themselves and take up boxing. So that's great.
All the best, Ramla. Thank you.
Thank you very much.